What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of After the Movie. And yep, I excuse the lighting, it's a little bit dark. Maybe I can fix that up a little bit. But yes, we just got out of seeing Creed 2, the sequel to Creed, and the 8th film in the Rocky franchise. Now, I'm a diehard Rocky fan. Rocky is the most consistently good movie franchise of all time.
Except for Rocky 5.
Except for Rocky 5. Even then, like, I rewatched it the other day, and Rocky 5 has some entertaining moments. Like, I love Duke. What was his name? The guy who's like, touch me and I'll sue. That guy is amazing. Like, that guy is the most entertaining part of that movie. And then the street fight's entertaining, but other than that, Rocky 5 isn't very good. But I love Rocky 1, Rocky 2, Rocky 3. Rocky 4 may be my favorite out of all of them because the movie is at least like 25% montages and training, and just, it's so over-the-top ridiculous that it's pretty amazing. I just love everything. I just love the Rocky series, Rocky Balboa. I really enjoyed Creed. Creed wasn't my favorite in the Rocky franchise, but I definitely thought it was pretty good. So now we have Creed 2, because Creed 1 left some unfinished business. When Creed 1 was coming out, I'm like, okay, now that you got this one, the second one has to be about Drago. And finally, they gave us Drago. Ryan Coogler didn't come back to do this one. He was busy making the Black Panther movie. And so we have like the director, Stephen Cable Jr. Stallone was originally going to direct this thing, but he wrote the movie with someone else coming in, like I guess do some revisions, make it more hip. And yeah, well, what follows I think is an even better film than the first movie. Now, that's not to say that the first one wasn't any good, but this one I think is better, more intriguing villains. They definitely fleshed out Drago and his son a lot in this movie, like a lot more than I thought they would. And they're not just kind of like in the first movie where Drago's like, I must break you. Like, no. Ever since that fight with Rocky Balboa back in the 1980s, it kind of fucked up his entire life. You know what I mean? Like, Drago he kind of got shamed. His wife, Bridget Nielsen, left him, and she even shows up in the movie, too, and she just, like, walks away, too. Like, you just see, like, all the hell that, Ivan Drago and his son, Victor Drago, have kind of gone through. And you actually do feel some sympathy for these characters, and I'm kind of hoping they do a third one, and almost want Drago to win the title at some point. That's weird to say, but that's how well put together this one is. And Rocky feels the guilt, obviously, for Apollo, and then Adonis is out trying to it's unfinished business with him. He's like, I gotta fight him. It's like, why are you fighting? Like, his head's not really in the game. He kind of wants revenge. He wants to rewrite history, and he's not thinking entirely clearly. And like, the fights in this movie are excruciatingly brutal. Oh yeah, I haven't even let you talk. Go ahead and say something. What do you think of... You've seen all of them but the first Creed, right?
Yeah, for some reason I didn't see the first Creed movie. Like, I just never got around to it.
It's pretty darn good. It's the Rocky movies.
But this one, it was good. But it felt a little predictable just because it felt like Rocky, like 3 and 4 mixed with like a little bit of like...
Yeah.
A little bit of 2. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just... It had elements of even like 5th, like the Duke character. Like,
yeah, I don't know the guy's name in this one.
I didn't catch his name, but he's like the manager for Drago, for Victor Drago and Ivan Drago, and like he's just kind of the instigator, kind of like in Rocky 5. But it was good. They definitely fleshed out all the characters. I think it would have been a little bit better if they could have done a little bit more with Drago and his son, like, because they did everything they could have possibly done with them, but I think like if we could have had at least one more scene.
Yeah, because I remember seeing online a scene, it was like a fight scene between Rocky and Drago, and like, that wasn't in the movie, and I was kind of bummed out about that. Like, it was like some behind the scenes footage of them just kind of like having a little fist fight, and I was like watching the movie, I'm like, okay, when is this going to happen? It doesn't happen in the movie, so I'm like, oh, that scene must have been cut, obviously. But yeah, just seeing like the tension between Drago and Balboa is definitely
I just think it would have been better if we saw some sort of scene with Victor and Ivan, at least another one, because like there's definitely a lot of character building amongst them, but like they literally make the same mistakes. It's just the plot is the same. That's my only problem with it. Like, it's
all the Rocky movies are pretty. Like, I mean, each Rocky movie is like different. There's like a different theme. The first one's about underdog. The second one is proving legitimacy. The third one's about like complacency. The fourth one's like about like revenge. The fifth one is just like the mentor passing it on to someone else. And Balboa is kind of like one more.
3 and 4 are like almost the same setup, because you have like a villain beating up a good guy. Apollo dies, and Rocky 4 The only difference between that is Clubber Lang beats Rocky. So it's like,
But
oh yeah, then Nick dies in Rocky 3. So like 3 and 4 are almost like the same movie. Like,
except 4 is mostly montages, and I think 4 is my favorite. 4 is probably my favorite Rocky movie for entertainment value. What about you? It's
I don't know. They're all pretty good.
That's, like I said, outside of 5, this is the most consistently good movie franchise of all time. And 5, it's just like when you go from 4 to 5, it feels like such a step down. Rocky ends the Cold War. He ends the Cold War in Rocky 4. If I could change, and you can change, everybody can change.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
Rocky 4 is good, but this one, it just kind of feels like almost like a kind of retread, kind of like a retro movie. Like it's like, it's kind of like what Star Wars did. It's almost like, well, if they can get away with basically remaking A New Hope, well, then I guess any franchise can just get away with basically redoing and retreading.
Yeah, I can see that it is a bit formulaic because you're just like, oh, he's gonna win. Although, like, there are some issues I do have with this one.
He wins and then he loses and he wins. So it's like it's pretty predictable. So if you saw Rocky 4,
no, he didn't lose. He actually won. He like, they fight twice in the movie. I guess spoilers at this point. I mean, you kind of know what's gonna happen. Like the first fight, he wins by disqualification because like Drago just beats the ever-loving shit out of him.
Just would have been better if, like, I think it would have been more interesting if they made a movie like they made like the Creed movie, and this should have been like they should have been called Drago, and they should have made a movie all about Drago, and it would have been really interesting. And then the third movie could have been Creed and Drago duking it out for the title. Like no like grudges or anything, like no emotion, but this just a pure competition. It would have been interesting doing it that way, I think, instead of, I guess, playing it so safe. I think, like, Rocky 2, or their Creed 2, there should have been no Creed 2. It should have been, like, Drago, and then the third film in the series would be, like, the two of them fighting. Like, it would have made more sense. Like,
yeah, but the thing is, when it comes to, like, Rocky films, it's like, Stallone makes the movie. He doesn't necessarily plan on a sequel. The only one that made sense to have a sequel, like, you know, just relatively thinking, like, before he comes up with, like, some sort of plot to make another one, was Creed 2, because there's unfinished business in the first Creed. It's like, okay, you want to see Drago. He never got the chance to confront Drago.
Where's the unfinished business in Creed 1?
Drago is not in the movie. Like, his whole... The thing with Adonis in this thing is, like... wait, you don't realize... You didn't see the first Creed. What happened was, Apollo Creed had Adonis out of wedlock, so Apollo Creed died before Adonis was born. So, like, he was, like, he was adopted by Creed's wife. So, like, he never knew his actual dad, who died in the ring. So it was like there's some unfinished business and tension that needed to be, like, you know, shown in some form of fashion in that movie that we never got, which is what Creed 2 picks up the slack with that. So I don't know if they should make another one. Like, I'll see it because, like I said, the Rocky franchise is, like, it's a winning formula. They tried to deviate from it with Rocky 5, but it didn't quite work so well. And, you know, you gotta have some things in a Rocky movie. You know, gotta have the boxing, gotta have kind of some, like, inspiring moments. There's some good acting here too, and there's definitely some drama between, you know, Adonis and his, you know, fiance, soon-to-be wife. I don't know, they don't even really get married in the movie, but, like, he proposes to her, and, like, she has her hearing aid with her. She has, like, her hearing problems. Although, I will say one thing that bugs me about the Creed movies is the montages. The montages are nowhere near up to par with some of the older Rocky films. Creed 1 had a good one, but, like, it's just, like, they try to be really, like, modern and, like, hip, I guess, with it. Like, you know, they have, like, kind of the hip-hop songs going on in there. But just the way, like, there's something classical about a good old-fashioned Rocky montage with Gonna Fly Now. And, like, they don't even have it running up the steps in one of these. Like, I can understand with this one. It's just the montages were put together so well. Like Rocky 4, it's like the way the editing was done, it was just like, it's made you want to go out and train. This one is just like, yeah, it's cool to train and all, but I don't necessarily want to go out and train right away.
Yeah, the filmmaking was probably a little bit more fun in the older ones. Yeah,
that's what I'm kind of missing. Like, I just want those training montages to be up to par with what they used to be. I understand they got their theme song, which is Fighting Strong, which is a good song. Like, I've listened to it, the score before for Creed. The composer of this also, I think, worked on Black Panther. He's kind of like Ryan Coogler's buddy. But, like, the Fighting Strong theme is Okay, so we were going to do that in one take, but I ran out of storage on my phone. So anyways, the composer is basically Ryan Coogler's buddy, and the theme is really good, but I do miss the old school montages. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I really wish they would have
The filmmaking isn't the same.
Yeah, it's not nearly as fun. I really wish they would have found some way to, like, I mean, it's fan servicey, I know, but there's times where I'm just like, just throw me a freaking bone here. Like, if we would have gotten the scene, like, when they go to the desert, Hearts on Fire, or something ridiculous like that.
How would you, like, Creed 2, it was good.
I definitely liked it. It's a winning formula for me. But
it's
like,
definitely worth seeing at the theater.
It's definitely worth it. I think it's better than the first film, simply because I know it's predictable. The first film was predictable too. It's like, oh, he either wins or wins or loses by going the distance.
The problem with sports movies in general is that either they're going to win or they're going to lose.
And it's just going to be one of the either or. So, like, I mean, like I said, like, I knew he was going to win, but I didn't expect it to be in the fashion of him, like a spoilers, Drago throwing in the towel. So, like,
yeah, that was one thing I didn't see coming. So
it's like poetry, they rhyme.
They do. Yeah, it ends the same way it began. Rocky IV.
Mm-hmm. So, and then, like, Drago and his son are still out there training, like, they're ready to, like, go back and fight. But yeah, Drago is a fucking beast in this one. Not as, like I said, it's not as entertaining as Rocky IV. That's my favorite Rocky film because it's just so ridiculous.
Yeah, the guy that plays Victor Drago is like twice the size of Adonis Creed.
This dude was a monster.
So I'm like, how are they even in the same, like, classification of fighter? Like,
then again, Stallone, same thing, you know. So, all right. Don't know what else I could add to it, but I really like Creed 2. I love the Rocky franchise. Another winner for me. Is it the same for you? Winner?
Yeah, it's definitely a winner. I mean, it's definitely a good one to add. It's not one that you're going to be like, wow, this was like the worst Rocky movie or Creed movie, whatever you want to call it. You're not going to be like, wow, they just ruined the franchise or anything.
Like I said,
I think they played it a little safe, but still really good.
Really good film. Could have done better with the montages, but because that's an important part of Rocky, you have to have good montages in your movies. Rocky V doesn't have any good montages, fails. Rocky IV, 25% montages, but by God, they're the best montages of all time. Rocky 1, 2, and 3, great montages. Rocky Balboa has a good montage. Creed 1 has a pretty decent montage, but it's not like as good as the Rocky ones, but you need good montages. But the training montages were pretty lackluster in this film, I'm not going to lie. So, yep, that's all I got to say. Thank you for joining me, Marlon. Stay tuned, because I got more stuff coming up on the channel. I've been kind of lackluster the past couple of weeks, but it's been very busy. Thanksgiving's on the way. And, yeah, thank you very much, sir. Until the next time.